Air cross is dead.
We came into this world together. We're gonna leave together.
Wake up!
We have to stop these traffickers.
We crosses. Bad things happen to bad people.
I can't rest until I find out who's behind that auction.
This place has done nothing but ruin my life.
So it's a pleasure speaking with you guys again for this season. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good. Thanks for having us.
No problem. And I got myself ready. I binge watched from season 1 and I'm ready. So and I saw the first episode of 4. So I'm refreshed, is what I'm saying.
I like it. That's why you got that smirk on. That's why you got that smirk on, because you know what's going on.
But I'm gonna start with Ashley. I love how with each season, we learn the backstories of each character more. Will that continue with this season without giving too much away?
Absolutely. You're gonna learn a nice chunk of information that is gonna kind of put you in the direction of why the twins are the way they are. So, for sure.
Looking forward to it. All right, Jeff. Last season, it was actually intense, but this season looks more intense, even believable. Is this season more about revelations or revenge?
I would say both. Revelations and revenge, because again, a lot of stories are going to get uncovered, but there's so many twists and turns that you're not going to know what to expect. It's not predictable. It's going to be a lot of moments where you're going to gasp and be like, oh my gosh, like, did you just see that? Did you just see this? There's going to be some memes and I'm sure we'll be trending on Twitter very, very soon.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready. And then I'm asking both of you, what's the greatest joy you guys both get playing the Cross Twins, the Wonder Twins each season?
Tell them, Ash.
Well, I mean, one of my greatest joys is always highlighting family, and no one family is perfect, and trying to figure out, how do we coincide with one another, live with one another, get along with one another? How do we deal with our family issues and still love on one another? And so that's a theme for me in this particular show that I just love every season.
What about you, Jeff?
I would say inspiring people through roles, and a lot of people live vicariously through actors and actresses and people in this I guess celebrity limelight. I don't really like to claim a celebrity or anything like that, but it's cool to when people recognize you for your craft and they get, like I said, inspired and motivated by that. And when I'm at the zoo, deep in the zoo, I'm deep in the zoo with my kids and I hear Eric and I'm just like, what? And it's like, it's making an impact on people, so I think that's another cool aspect of it, and a responsibility that we have to continue to be leaders and role models.
Yeah, I agree. And then you mentioned it earlier, but the show is not predictable at all. So like with most shows are. Being that that's the case, did that bring any difficulties filming season 4? And that's for any of you.
I think we get the scripts in a good amount of time to where when we read it, we go, oh, wow, this is what we're doing this season. We're able to have that time period to kind of mentally drop into what our characters are now experiencing compared to what they've experienced before. Because you are shocked at almost every episode is something that happens. So I'm glad that we get a good chunk of time to really dive in and break down the script and decide emotionally, physically, mentally how we want our characters to move forward.
Yeah, and I'll blame Crystal for that. The
writer,
Crystal, a lot of twists and turns.
The stuff that comes out of her head, we'd be like, oh, yay.
Definitely, I can see it. And then how did the chemistry this season grow with the cast? Because you guys make a great ensemble from,
I can't stand any of them, especially Ashley A. Williams.
Listen, I just do what I gotta do. Well, we all just really like each other. I think we all really like each other off camera. Like the personalities just gel very, very well. And so even if we're like arch nemesis or enemies on screen, it's easy to, as soon as they call cut, to give that person a hug like immediately afterwards. So I think that's what it is. It's just there's a mutual respect and love for what you do for your own particular character and what you're doing for the show. And so it's easy to just love on these people constantly while we're filming.
Yeah, and when you work for people for years on end, it's like you do become a family. And there is a time period where you spend more time with the cast and crew than you do your own family. You know, like we all like to get our family on set. You know, Ashley, you know, her mom comes on and sits in on some scenes and stuff. And it's cool, but like, you know, when it's game time, you're locked in with these people for over a month. So you have no choice but to grow. We're either going to grow together or apart. And we all have grown together.
That makes a lot of sense too. And then Double Cross is definitely a drama-filled show, but it's like 50-50 comedy as well. Does the comedic moments help filming, being that it's about such a serious subject? And again, that's for either of you.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say one of the funniest people on there is Nurse Brian.
Yeah.
It's very funny. And you know, there was a behind the scenes. I have a clip where let me try not to get in trouble with this, but we're doing a physical scene where I'm jacking him up, and he said something so funny, and then I was in character, and they said cut, and I just started laughing. It's so funny. So I would say the comedic relief is definitely hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or like if you see Erica, watch Erica run. It's the funniest thing ever. If you watch her run.
He's talking about like he's talking about like past seasons of how
He does this little run that's like a little puppy.
It's because when you're filming and you don't have the length of space to run, it's hard to take off the way you normally would take off. And so, you know, you're literally running like, 3 feet, but you got to make it look like you jetted out of somewhere. So he's talking about like in the past, he'd be like, don't do that thing where you run like you a puppy dog. And I'd be like, what do you want me to do? I don't have any I'm not running.
She's an athlete. She's an athlete. She works out every day.
I don't have enough space to take off.
Yeah, that's right. It's all good. I didn't even notice, but I'm gonna go back, and pay attention to what he was saying to running. And then when we spoke before last season, you guys did film a lot with a lot of the guest stars. But this season, did you guys get to film with Yo-Yo and of course Taimak? And if so, what was the experience like working with them?
Yeah, filming with Taimak was very interesting because again, I'm trying not to give up. I'm trying not to give up too much. I would say it was great filming with him, and he's a professional. And when you encounter different guest stars, it's just about respecting their method of preparation because no one of us prepares in the same manner. Ashley has how she likes to prepare, and I have how I like to. And you kind of got to respect that person and then bring it together and make this sort of dance. So it was great working with Taimak, and he's a legend, and it's an honor to have him on camera. And I think we all sort of during the scene him and I had together, everybody sort of watched, and it was just cool.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine. Ashley, did you get to meet Yo-Yo?
No, I actually envy some of the scenes because I feel like Erica is pretty much seen with these same people throughout, all these seasons because she has different relationships with them. But no, I wish I got to film with Yo-Yo. Taimak was extremely professional. He was very dialed in. And so you want to respect people's space and how they approach the work. And so it was fun to just be able to do the scene and be a colleague in the scene and play alongside with him.
Makes sense. And then Ashley, I recently spoke with Tory Kettles, and he has a new film called Among the Beast. And it's pretty much about child trafficking. Mm. And we were talking about the fact that the subject seems to be so taboo for some reason. You guys have a series about it. There's not any other series like that. This film the same way. Why do you think it's such a taboo subject?
I think that people don't realize how prevalent it is in the U.S. I don't think they realize that I think they think it's something that doesn't happen here. It's like one of those mindsets of like, nah, but not us. Like we would never. And I think if people just did more research and read more, they would see how much it goes down in the U.S. of kids getting kidnapped and human traffic, sex traffic, all that stuff. And so with the project that your friend is doing and this show, I'm glad that it's continuing to shed light on something that happens every single day.
Exactly. You want to add anything, Jeff, or you just got it all?
Yeah, it's such a touchy subject and often avoided because a child's innocence. I have 3 children. And they're so innocent, you try to protect them from the world. even though they need to experience it and understand, you know, the world and its dark spots. But it's something that's, you know, everybody has a kid in their life somewhere, whether it's a direct sibling or a child or something like that of their own. But it's the innocence of a child, because they're kind of helpless, and they depend on adults to guide them. So when there's adults that are just, you know, sick and evil out there, it's difficult. It's difficult to talk about, even to watch. So I mean, even for me, when they brought child actresses on set in I would say season 2, it hits you. You know, like they were pretending to run out of this cell, and for them it's like happy. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy, because it's based on a true story. You know, so
it's real.
Very difficult.
Understandable. And then both of you guys got to tell everyone why they need to tune in to Double Cross. It's back every Thursday on All Black.
Should they tune in, Ashley?
Huh?
Should they tune in?
Yeah, y'all should tune in to All Black's #1 show 3 seasons in a row. I mean, there's a reason why we're the #1 show. I mean, binge watch, start from season 1 to season 3. Get that subscription. They are the most affordable subscription on the market. Premier Black content, starring, produced by by beautiful Black people. So please watch where you are celebrated, watch All Black, watch Double Cross, because we are going to bring you twists and turns and plot twists with every single episode this season, okay?
All I got to say is you never want to be that person who's left out when everyone's talking about something and you didn't see it. So don't be that person.
Don't have fun.
He said, don't be that person. All right, I'm going to switch gears real quick before we wrap. So, Jeff, I'm going to start with you. Before we go, you have a new role in playing a Valentine. Tell your fans about that.
So my Valentine Crush came out February 9th, and people were streaming that through Valentine's Day on BT Plus and BT. And it was different because my character Eric is, you know, a drug dealing thug who gets his revenge by any way possible. And then you got this like lover boy business guy who's a professional, right. Like he's well spoken, and then he's, you know, he's a funny guy, who's the ex-lover of Crystal, who is played by Shaquita Smith. And it was cool. It was really cool to have that contrast. And I did another film called Deadly Getaway, where I'm this insane person, and I can't even get into that, but that'll be out this year as well. So it's cool to switch lanes. I like that.
Yeah.
Show what I got.
Exactly. You don't want to get typecast too much.
No. I am covered in tattoos. I did fall asleep in a tattoo parlor, but it's not my fault.
And then Ashley, you were on the big screen last year. Tell us about that film. And then I know you're working on something. So what's going on with you?
Yeah, so The Devil You Know was out in theaters last year. It was an amazing project to be in. I mean, some of the most amazing actors that I've always looked up to, like Omar Epps and Glenn Turman. I think Glenn Turman was the highlight of my entire shoot. I think just being in the same room with him was like, you felt like you were with like Black royalty. Right. So yeah, so my friend Charles Murray is a filmmaker, and he asked me to be a part of that project, and I was just over the moon to be on set with them and having fun and being a part of the family. So The Devil You Know is also streaming on platforms, so please go find it and watch it. It's a beautiful film. It's a true story too, so yeah.
Well, the Black royalty artist that I worked with was Ashley A. Williams, so, you know.
I know that's right.
And then I have to ask you both, being in this industry, you guys come from different backgrounds. You both have different desires as far as goals in your lives. What advice would you give to someone who wants to do what you guys do as far as the acting? Because, you know, anything can come after that, but you guys have these different type of personalities we don't necessarily see in images. So I like that. Start with Jeff.
So
you said how they can get into acting?
Yeah, what advice would you give them as far as just, you know, getting into, whether it be acting or another field, as far as just being yourself and getting into the field you want to get into?
I would say don't compromise. Don't compromise who you are, because you want to be in the room because it's you in the room and not anyone else. And not a copy. Like any type of business meetings I go into, any type of contracts that I sign, it's because it's me, and I'm not being a copy of anyone else, and I'm not gonna, you know, adjust my energy or my actions to who I think they want. It's just, this is what you get. Remaining authentic, and also whatever you want to be around, you're most likely going to start at the bottom of it, unless you're some anomaly, which I am not. So you start at the bottom. I was an extra in 2015 in the show Gotham. Like I was looked over, and it was whatever. And there's been many auditions that have been failed. So if you look at last year, like it was about 40 auditions, and then 4 films came out of it. So it's like I had to fail 40 times to win 4 times. So some people aren't even willing to try. So get around the work that you want to be involved in, and remain yourself at all times.
Ashley, what advice would you give?
Yeah, I agree with that. Surround yourself with the people and the mindsets that you're trying to achieve, and also be very consistent. Even if you think it's the smallest step forward or the smallest gesture or the smallest act of what it is that you're trying to ultimately pursue, I would say just remain consistent and, like Jeff said, authentic to yourself, because there are so many people who think that they have to be a certain thing to be liked or be accepted or be seen. And I think what's proving very true, especially today, is that if you just walk into a room yourself and you've done the work and you are professional about the craft, then you have the total package right there.
Yeah. Great advice. Thank you. Because I think a lot of young people need to hear that. Because again, we're in a different space. We have things like ALLBLK, for us that we can really pitch and get in there. So thank you.
Exactly.
And before we wrap, is there anything else you guys want to share with your fans or us or anything? Any advice, anything? We can start with Jeff.
I would say go follow me on social media. It's Jeff Logs, JEFF LOAGZ. And I have a book that just came out. It's sold out, but it's out.
Woo-hoo!
I don't know what they want to do with that, but it is sold out. And there's a bunch of films. There's a bunch of films that are out. You can check out my IMDb and see the different films, and just be on the lookout for much, much more. And go stream Double Cross today on ALLBLK. And every Thursday we'll be dropping a new episode.
Yes. I second that. Every Thursday, new episode, Double Cross, ALLBLK, all streaming platforms. Get it where you can get it, because it's dope.
Are you finished?
Hi.
And be kind, be kind to others, but more importantly, be kind to yourself.
Definitely, at all times. Well, again, thank you too for taking time out speaking with us. I'm a fan of both of you, solo, doing what you guys do in other projects, but I'm a huge fan of Double Cross, so I'm happy it's back, and I can't wait for the rest of the season.
We appreciate you.
Air Cross is dead.
We came into this world together. We're gonna leave together.
Wake up!
We have to stop these traffickers.
We crosses. Bad things happen to bad people.
I can't rest until I find out who's behind that auction.
This place has done nothing but ruin my life.
There's more people in the street that want me dead.
If they come for you, they come for me.
That man is walking evil.
And you will reap what you sow.
And who's to make sure that I did?
My finger's getting real itchy on the trigger.
Real itchy.
You're gonna come for us all.
Look at you now! Everything is mine!
Who the hell is that?
Erica?
Bad beginnings make for bad endings.
You don't want no trouble.